right, well, thank you for being here today. Can we start by introducing yourselves and your organization?
Sure, thank you. I'm Sarah Launderville. I'm the Executive Director of the Vermont Center for Independent Living. My pronouns are she and her, and a visual description, I'm a white woman with short brown hair wearing a blue top.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Safako Kumabupomei. I'm the Youth Transition Program Coordinator. My pronouns are she, her, and I have Rasta pony at one side. I'm wearing black right now. Yeah, I'm a Black woman.
Great. Can you take some time to explain the mission of your organization?
Sure. So really excited to be here and doing these videos, and I'm excited to learn with everybody. So VCIL, we're a disability justice organization. So sort of our tagline is people with disabilities working together for dignity, independence, and civil rights. We are a statewide organization. We were founded back in 1979, and we came out of the disability rights movement. So from that, there's a long history of how independent living centers were founded on this philosophy of autonomy and self-determination, and that people with disabilities should have control over our own lives and live the way that we want to live. And so a lot of that foundation of who we are is how we operate as an organization around advocacy. And then we have a bunch of different programs that help support individuals, including through skill building workshops and that sort of thing that we'll get into a little bit about, that helps people choose to live the lives that they want to live. I think that that's sort of like our big sort of overarching of who we are as an organization.
Okay, thank you. And the next question is, what are some activities your organization can do to support the pilot schools and the overall goals of the P2P project?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave my answer a little bit shorter, and then Safakor will tell us a little bit more what we're hoping to do. But what I'm really excited about is the opportunity to collaborate across the board with all these different partners, and especially the schools. I think many of our organizations, including VCIL, have been doing transition work for a lot of years and working with youth, but really getting to the point where we're going to learn from the schools, where are the barriers that you're experiencing, and then we can share with you all the things that we're sort of experiencing as a disability community, especially as people become adults. And so what, if we backed up a little bit, what could we do to really impact a system that really throws up a lot of barriers for folks with disabilities? So I'm excited to see how we can really collaborate on those and offer up what we've learned over the years. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think, yeah, connected to that, the partnership or collaboration with other organizations is one pride we have in this journey, as much as we work together. But I think also VCIL has unique focus in this program because we serve a lot of youth across the state. As we cut across all the sections, we are not focusing on any special disability. So we serve everyone. And we have a lot of programs under the Youth Transition Program. For instance, there is this program that we work with college students, which we call College Connection. We transition with them as much as we meet them at the age of 14 to 26. We work through college program with them. We work through employment with them. We work with them, and there are some even homeschool. We have a homeschool program that we serve them on one-on-one basis. So in this, we are looking at the holistic picture of youth in transition as much as they live that independent life in their future as they transition to be adult. Another piece that I think we are bringing on board about this is for VCIL, we want to be very much intentional as much as we identify the youth from marginalized backgrounds, specifically maybe example like BIPOC youth, the New American, the students, or everybody who face that marginalization. We never serve them equitably. So that is one thing that VCIL is bringing on board to increase one capacity and to deliver evidence-based best practices, which will improve transition outcomes for out-of-school youth from this minority background. And I will say that as much as we do this and do it very well, we will see that this youth from this marginalized group will be duplicating or will be serving or be doing what we are doing with the youth now. For instance, they can be children ambassadors to start mentoring the youth in elementary schools. Like, we have a lot of programs bringing on board, but I just want to say that clearly that this is one thing that we are being intentional about, that VCIL will capture students or will capture the youth around marginalized group in terms of equity. We want to make sure that everybody has equitable access to everything or every resources that we have across the state.
Yeah, thank you. And can you both also speak to your organization's values about working with students with disabilities?
Yeah, so if you look at any independent living center across the country, and in Vermont, we only have the one, we cover the entire state, and we're founded by people with disabilities. And the majority of our staff and our board of directors also have disabilities. I have a psychiatric disability. Others have physical disabilities, developmental disabilities, or deaf or blind. And that really sets the stage of how we operate as an organization, because we have this lived experience of what it's like to live in Vermont with a disability and how we interact with all the different systems. And when I think about how we look at systems like this, like the education system, it's not much different than what we see in healthcare, transportation systems, other systems within. And for this project, and what we offer is really helping try to sort of look at systematically. We're built on biases of ableism, right? That people with disabilities were often institutionalized or kind of kept down, and even the different systems that we have in place today continue to do that. And so I look at us as sort of helping create opportunity by having conversations around how a policy can create more and more barriers for people with disabilities. And if we could break down some of those barriers, then people with disabilities will thrive in our community. And so I think that's how I see sort of this connection back to this really incredible opportunity, because we're going to be able to really have those frank conversations around what we're seeing and hear about, okay, how do we kind of start to move along and make things really stronger as a state? And it really flips back to that ongoing philosophy within an independent living model.
And just to add a little to that, in terms of our philosophy, I want to just be very blunt in something that I do practically on the field in terms of how we build a student to own their disabilities. We build them. We have, for instance, we have a workshop called Disability Pride, right? That is a place that we let this student or the youth own whatever identity that they have, because for us, disability is part of our identity. And that is where most of them are losing their identities and intersectionalities, as I would say, connecting to disability. One major thing that I always say is we call a spade, not a big spoon. So that is the one thing that we hold as a value, that disability is part of us. And we have other identities that we talk about in this field. And we want to make sure that every youth is open to this type of conversation as we build their values around their independence and dignity.
Great. Well, thank you both. And, thank you for spending the time with us today to help, our audience get to know VCIL. Is there any final thoughts or anything else that you'd like to add?
No, we just look forward to diving into the work and getting to know all the different organizations involved and seeing what system change we can create. So thank you for having us.
And I would just finally say, yes, I want to just say that when we are accustomed to privilege, at times parity and equity and inequality may feel like oppression. At times, that's how it feels. So I want to just say that this is a big program that we are so happy at VCIL that we will tackle it with the lens of equity and intersectionalities. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you.